This is JMC2015, question 21. It's quite a long one. Jill is now 27 and has moved into a new flat. She has 4 pictures to hang in a horizontal row on a wall which is 4,800 millimeters wide. The pictures are identical in size and are 420 millimeters wide. Jill hangs the first 2 pictures so that one is on the extreme left of the wall and one is on the extreme right of the wall. She wants to hang the remaining 2 pictures so that all 4 pictures are equally spaced. How far should Jill place the centre of each of the 2 remaining pictures from a vertical line down the centre of the wall? This is an interesting question to me because previously I've worked in a laboratory. My background's in chemistry, and when you're drawing up a thin layer chromatography, a TLC plate, you often consider how to equally space the dots on that plate. What you don't do is place any of them right at the extreme edges. But I just thought there is a real-world application for such maths. There's likely very many, but I thought it's quite interesting to have this kind of question in there. Right, so moving on. These are the 2 walls, and we know they're 4,800 millimeters apart. It's right up there for now. Then there are 4 paintings, one on the extreme left, one on the extreme right. Let's draw in the middle for now, and then we know 2 more paintings here, and you'll note there are 3 spaces in between. Each painting is 420. So what do we actually want? We want the distance from the centre of one of these 2 to the centre here. Let's call that x. We want x. First thing I'm going to do is work out the distance of these spacings. So the sum of the 4 pictures is 4 times 420 equals 1680. The spacings are therefore the entire distance, 4,800, minus that number, 1680, which equals 3120. There are 3 spacings, as you can see. So if we divide that by 3, we get 1040. And then I hope you can see we are going half a spacing and half at a distance of a picture. So if I just do a half times a single spacing and a picture, well, this should give me x, which equals a half times 1460 equals 730, which is option C. This is JMC question 22 from JMC 2015, sorry. The diagram shows a shaded region inside a regular hexagon. The shaded region is divided into equilateral triangles. What fraction of the area of the hexagon is shaded? Okay, so I'll try and do this as best as I can. So first note that this hexagon has 6-fold symmetry. You can rotate it in 6 directions there, and at each point it's the same, so you don't have to work on the entire hexagon. You can simplify just to a 1/6 of it. First thing I would do is just extend some lines, just to work on, to make it quite obvious that you're working on this extra 1/6 here. All the lines you need to do, and you can see if you have 6 of these, you're going to make up the entire diagram, because you could do the same equally on 6 cases. Now just count the number of unshaded: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hope you can see that there. These bottom 2 here just sum up to be 1. And then this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's just simply 6. Therefore, we can see in a 1/6 of the figure, you have 6 of each, therefore overall the proportion will be half. And the answer is therefore E. This is JMC 2015, question 23. The diagram shows 4 shaded glass squares with areas 1 cm squared, 4 cm squared, 9 cm squared, and 16 cm squared, placed in the corners of a rectangle. The largest square overlaps 2 others. The area of the region inside the rectangle not covered by any square is 1.5 cm squared. What is the area of the region where squares overlap? Okay. So from the information given, I know that this 1, 4, 9, and 16. We know that the length of this side must be 1.5 because this is the length of 1 here, and therefore 1 there. We know the length of the side of this square, which has area 9, is 3. Therefore, overall, we have a 5.5 length. On the bottom here, we have a 1 plus 4, therefore it's 5. The overall area then of this rectangle is 5 times 5.5, which is 25 plus 2.5 equals 27.5. Then, if I just add up the value of all of the squares, I imagine they didn't overlap, and the rectangle, so if I just do 1 plus 1.5 plus 4 plus 9 plus 16, that will give me 10, 20 plus 10, 31.5. And then it's quite simply any area that has overlapped must be the difference between these two, therefore the answer is 4. And that is answer choice D. This is JMC 2015, question 24. A palindromic number is a number that reads the same when the order of its digits is reversed. What is the difference between the largest and smallest 5-digit palindromic numbers that are both multiples of 45? So first note that any multiple of 45 is going to end in either 0 or 5. But we couldn't have 2 zeros at the ends, because then it wouldn't be a 5-digit number. Therefore, both numbers must start and end in 5. And there's one more factor we have to consider, which is the sum of the digits of a number, sorry for the poor handwriting, is divisible by 5. Sorry, 9. It's divisible by 9. I've already written it wrong. If the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 9, then the number itself is divisible by 9. With that fact in mind, we just then need to maximize and minimize. So we have our two numbers. The maximum number needs to be palindromic, as in reading the same forward and back. 5995, 5005. With 5995, we currently have the sum there is 28. 5 plus 9 is 14 times 2, 28. And the nearest multiple of 9 is 36, so we need to put an 8 in the middle. On the bottom here, 5005, currently we have 10. And again, the nearest multiple is an 8. And then I hope you can see the division is just 9,895 minus 805. Therefore, the answer is B. It's questions JMC 2015, question 25. The 4 straight lines in the diagram are such that VU equals VW, which means that that one equals that one. The sizes of the angles UXZ this one. VYZ and VZX are x, y, and z, respectively. Which of the following equations gives x in terms of y and z? Okay, so the first thing I note is we have the triangle UXZ, which allows us to say that this angle here is 180 minus x minus z. It lies on a straight line, so this is 180 minus that, which makes this x plus z. This is equivalent because of isosceles triangles, so that makes that also x plus z. And this one here, therefore, is 180 minus 2 lots of x plus z. Oh, sorry, let's just put it in a better place. Minus 2 lots of x plus z. And now we have the single triangle VZY or VYZ, which contains terms in x, y, and z. So we can do that. So if we do 180 minus 2x plus z plus y plus z equals 180. Because that's a triangle, we can quickly get rid of the 180s. Multiply out by the minus 2 first. 2x minus 2z plus y plus z equals 0. Then I'll write it up here, I guess. So we're going to remove the x over to the other side. 2x equals y minus z. X equals y minus z over 2, which is e. And that concludes Junior Mathematical Challenge 2015. Thank you for watching.